studios in the United Kingdom, Simon Cox and his crew, working in conjunction with the Warren, Michigan branch of the Design Center, who focused on the interior, have come up with this brilliant design. As it rolls sideways to you there, you can appreciate how it kind of leans forward, very aggressive but very sophisticated at the same time. 22-inch tires and wheels at the back, giving way to 21-inch tires and wheels in the front. Every little detail as far as aerodynamics has been really carved and sculpted on this vehicle, so it has a very aerodynamic shape and feel to it. As far as splitting the wind, as the front end comes around you, you'll notice that it's a fully closed grille. Just a little bit of air comes through in the front, a little exhaust system for the generator. So here's what you have. It's called an extended range electric vehicle. They call them E-revs because you can run on electric, plug it in on the opposite side of the vehicle. You notice a little door that's open over there, a little chrome door. This is a filler cap right here for gasoline to run the generator for your extended range. But on a full charge, an overnight plug-in of 8 hours running to a normal house plug in current, 110 current, converts to 120 in the vehicle. It's a very strange looking plug that fits in on the other side as it comes around. I'll try and draw your attention up to the screen when the appropriate times that it shows some of these things that I'm talking about, but you can also tail to the 110 format or the 220 format. Will charge in under 3 hours. On a full charge, which they say is going to be costing, depending upon when you hit the grid, between 50 and 80 cents on your electric bill per charge. So if you're looking at driving it to and from work on a weekly basis, 6 times 5 is $3 with no gasoline or no emissions in the air if you're within a 40-mile commute. Now our range on this battery, the way it's 220 cell thermally managed lithium-ion battery in a T-shape that runs down through the center of the vehicle, giving us a 2+2 layout, kind of a T-shape as it hits the back of the vehicle behind the rear seats. That's powering a 16 kilowatt front wheel drive electric motor that works in conjunction with a little tiny gasoline to electric generator that sits right about underneath this part of the hood, and that will take care of your after 40 miles of electricity. So if you live within a 40-mile commute of your work or just running around town, then you're looking at going to work, coming back, plugging in, 50 cents, do it again, no emissions, all week long. And if you need to run longer, it automatically comes on. The gasoline generator automatically kicks in, and what it does is it sustains the battery. So you can run, let's say you have an 8-gallon tank times 50 miles a gallon, because this little generator, 1.4 liter, 4-cylinder, is not running the weight and the wheels of the vehicle, it's running the battery. So 50 miles times 8 gallons is 400-mile range, plus 40 with the electricity. That's just an equation. You know, it might get better than that, might be around those areas when it comes out, but that's pretty much what they're touting right now. So if you wanted to drive this, let's say on your vacations upstate or down to Atlanta or wherever you like to go, you know, let's say overnighters or long trips that might take several days of driving, then you're going to be hitting gasoline stations, fills with regular or flex fuel, and but it's still going to be a lot easier on the environment, a lot easier on burning gas, you know, for perhaps 440-mile range, and then fill it up a couple times and get yourself down to Florida, spend a night in a hotel. If you can plug in, great. If you can't, well, you still got that gasoline to take you down there. Once you get down there, then you plug in, you're driving around town with no gas again. So that's how this is going to work until we see some infrastructure built out for, let's say, some charge, plug-in, and swipe stations for your credit card. Now, a couple things that are going on here to sustain the battery as well. Number one, we've got regenerative braking, so anytime you hit the brakes, it gathers that energy and helps pulse it back into the battery. Also, to take some of the little jobs away from the battery so it can concentrate on running the vehicle, this solar cell up here takes some of the little jobs away, like running little accessory fans to help cool electronics and light the organic LEDs on the inside, the lighting systems as well. Speaking of LEDs, we've got them all over the vehicle, all over our Cadillacs, because Cadillac pioneered LED lighting to automotive back in 2000. Now we have the pipe lights. Now we've just launched the world's first LED headlight. These are LED headlamps here. So again, these aren't a fantasy. These are in production on our Escalade Platinum Edition right now. The aerodynamics, as the hood comes by here, you can see how it's a Cadillac design that is sticks with, let's say, our traditional design cue. Obviously not a traditional looking grille because it's closed. And then you bring in a little bit of air down here for your radiator and your condensing units, and split it with a full belly pan that runs underneath the vehicle. Very slick on the rake of the windshield. No door handles. I'll open that right back up again. No door handles, so it's very slick on the side as well. And then, you know, this is the push-button start technology that all you have to do is hit that little pressure pad in there, and then sit down, put your foot on the brake, and touch the button. I'll open all doors now for a few minutes so we can look into the interior. And I want to describe for you the cameras that are on the outside of the vehicle. You notice the little one at the back there at the where the glass hits the roof. These construction of, let's say, the shape of the mirror, miniature mirror, if you will. It's about a square inch of two-way mirror right here. So they're suggesting, or I think the suggestion is, that instead of having just a little eyeball lens camera, we actually have a turn signal repeater right here as well. So when you see a concept at Cadillac, they're already forward thinking it enough for the manufacturing process to make it, you know, we don't want to build a dream for you that's going to disappoint you when they build it. So they want, our design teams are brilliant for the last 10 years at building concepts that can actually be built. The only last hurdle that we keep running up against is the federal government telling us that you have to have a certain size mirror to be legal. Well, if they allow it this time around, because cameras are certainly more reliable than they were 10 years ago, and screens, they want a redundant system in place. So you might see these mirrors, little tiny ones, grow a little bit, so maybe they would shoot through a mirror of about that size, two-way mirror. So if a camera were to ever break or fail, or a screen, which is up here, were to ever fail, then you'd at least have a redundant system. Now, the neat thing about this is in one little glance, while you're driving down the road, your eye plane only has to shift down ever so slightly to see 180 degrees around the vehicle, because you'll have all three perspectives right here on this. By the way, on screen right now, there's your charging plug. That's what it looks like. And when you do plug the vehicle in, your lights on the plug turn blue, and so do your lights up here, your pipe lights, and on the rear of the bumper down there, those running lights go blue to let you know it's charging. Now, in just a couple minutes, we'll have a cutaway on the video up here. I'll draw your attention again, and it'll show you exactly what's happening with these screens and your perspective. And at the same time, they have other technology. Radar is already on some of our vehicles, coming out of the wheel wells in the back. And then a little icon will show up right inside of that mirror, and it glows when somebody's in that blind spot. So as you're driving down the road in your peripheral, you can see that little icon glow, so that'll back up the system as well. All right, everybody take your eyes up to this big screen on this next cut. You're gonna see how beautiful the blue organic LEDs are? Very top of the screen, right, left, and center perspective, so very easy. By the way, our screens, where the gal on Facebook or the phone book is right there, they're all like iPhone, touch and sweep on that center stack, and you can see the passenger's perspective on that little screen up here as well. They can touch and sweep through there. So on the interior, here's where the high-end technology meets up with old-school craftsmanship, hand-cut, hand-wrapped, and hand-sewn, and the environment. They actually use post-industrial materials. The scraps that are normally thrown away are gathered and broken down and turned into this microfiber suede cloth. Winter white, midnight black on the inside. It's called Reaction. Is the dark silver tri-coat on the outside. And then even like the brushed aluminum on the outside of the vehicle, where you normally have chrome, is easier on the environment. And also, so is the mulching of and pressing of bamboo, where you